It was both Nagas and Kukis doing. So why is it only with Kukis that this Meitei Kuki conflict started?
I think the easier target was the Kukis. It's about the land resources. See, pristine, underdeveloped, untapped resources. We don't have anyone like brother, and you are the right person to put this to the mainstream media, because we haven't had people from mainstream media to come and speak with us directly. They always get the news from the state.
The poppy cultivation and narco terrorism. So both the things maybe you can address together.
I'm not denying that people from Myanmar have come here. Those Chin brethren who have come into India are not a terrorist. They are around by tangled in groups with black shirts. They started vandalizing. That's how it started. So what about other communities? Cherry picking one community. The Bahrain's government, in order to justify this mass genocide.
External infiltrators, poppy cultivation. Right? This is a story which is easily acceptable if I hear as a third party, because it is giving me a reason to believe it. Right?
That's what the Bahrain is banking on that, and he has succeeded so far. Illegal immigration was one point, narco-terrorists is one point. Fine, we are the poppy cultivators. I accept that. We cultivate. Some of my people cultivate. But what are the people kingpin who buys and who runs the mob? The 19%, in Kangpokpi is look at this. Do you see it's poppy? This issue will not subside until unless change of guard happens in Imphal, and a change of heart. Central government is required to douse this problem. We never laid our hands on women, children, elderly, and the disabled person. Our values are still intact. Our women can roam freely. That is the reason why we have the guts to say that we have never raped. The way how they are killed, it's all the same, the Meitei people. Either the eyes plucked out or they are chopped. That's how they do. We don't do that. Murder come, you fight with guns. We fight with guns, we shoot them. That is done. We are not only fighting with the Meitei community, we're fighting with Bahrain's government.
Like sophisticated weapons being used from the Kuki side, drone bombs. In one village I even saw like a rocket bomb remain.
Yeah, that's made by them only. When you use a gun, do you expect me to use a catapult? We have raided the state armory 4 times because we are good at duplicating guns. We have a locally developed indigenous gun, not a rocket launcher. Amit Shah cautioned Biren ji, saying that, hey Biren, did you use bomb? Arey Biren, tu bomb marta hai kya?
The Meiteis insisted that I ask that there are highways that are being blocked and the supplies are being cut.
It'll take a decade for that to heal. I think the Kukis and Meitei can come together as good neighbors. But for the central government to forcefully integrate the two communities is not going to work, not even in 100 years.
I heard about a religion aspect also, a separate Christian state, but you see yourself as Indians.
I am an Indian! And we are fighting for the right cause, which is the sovereignty of India, not against that.
Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time. I am here in the Kuki village. I didn't know anybody here before coming here, and I was a little skeptical because I have been in Imphal, and there were some people I know from before. Okay. So going there was easier comparatively for me because there were known people and maybe even some reporters who helped me reach places. Okay. Here I didn't know anybody, but I'm glad I met you, and you are giving me time to give the perspective and the story from the Kuki side, and it is very important for me to tell the story of both the sides, right? Because telling story from one side would be not the right thing to do, and of course incomplete, right? So that is why I'm here, so let us keep the sequence same. Before that, I have shot a podcast with a Meitei representative. I want to do the same with you. So I'll more or less keep the sequence of the questions similar, not exactly the same, so that we can have a right comparative discussion. So just to begin with, can you quickly tell about, like, a quick introduction about yourself? What is it that you do? And that.
Thank you so much, brother. And I think you have met the right person. The reason why I'm saying is I'm the spokesperson for Committee on Tribal Unity, that is spearheading the causes of people here within the Sada Hills. And my name is NG Loonkipgan, and for the past nearly 19 months we have been organizing through crowdfunding. That's how we sustained and help people who are languishing in the camp, and moreover, issues such as the political dynamics that's seen in Imphal. I think our idea is to relay that message to the people and give them assurance that as long as the Constitution of India remains, I think aspiration would one day or eventually come about.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So let us begin with where it all started. Please give me your perspective of like around 1.5 years ago when the first incidents took place. Very briefly, what happened and how did it start?
See, this conflict, it erupted on the 3rd of May. That's what everyone knows. But it erupted on the 3rd, but the issue had been boiling for the past many decades between the minority and the majority community in the whole district, in the whole state. The reason why I'm saying is that I cannot speak for the other community, but from my side of point is that see, our rights has been trampled for the past many days. It's become a systematic desecration, and eventually it erupted on the 3rd of May. And we feel that the state, who is the commander, who is supposedly to be the chief executive person in the form of chief minister, should have acted as a chief minister of a state. He could have doused the situation then, and I think things would have not gone this bad. And it's a bad image even for the party leadership in the center, and as well as a disgrace to a constitutional democratic state, which I know India is one of the greatest. I think it's very shameful, but that's how it is, because on the 3rd of May, both the Kukis and the Nagas took a peaceful protest against the Manipur High Court's biased instruction to the state that the majority Meitei community should be included as the scheduled tribe, which is against our wishes. Although it might be a democratic demand for the Meiteis, but for the Kukis, since we are the minorities, and you know that a community, I'm talking about the majority community that had claimed 300 years of civilization, 3,000 years of civilization, and to come and enter into that zone. It is funny at the same time. That is the reason why we stood together, and after that, that's what we have seen.
So what erupted the violence at that point of time? What happened?
See, the narration is that after the peaceful rally that was organized in Chorichandpur, I think it's about 3 p.m. Maybe it's perhaps some miscreant from the Meitei community, just to show their anger. They started burning the church gate, which is closer to the Imphal area. And that's when those protesters in the heart of Chorichandpur came to know that their church, which is the Centenary Gate, means the Anglo-Kuki War. So they came, they rushed, and the media at that time, it was a little bit biased. It could have been very localized, but the narration is that what happened in Chorichandpur at that gate was reflected in Imphal at one go. The whole Kuki community residents in the Imphal Valley were targeted, which was led by the armed militia, the Arambai Tengal, with the help of a state. I think a video viral is there where the commando comes ahead, and at the back the Arambai Tengal in groups with black shirt, they started vandalizing. That's how it started. So that's how it is. And I think beyond that, see, it's 19 months now, and the center is still quiet. I don't know what's going to go.
So, sir, so I understand the conflict as is said, is because of this ST demand and that narrative we have heard. But my question is like, why this conflict only? Because it was both Nagas and Kukis doing this. So why is it only with Kukis that this Meitei Kuki conflict started?
That's what I'm appalled as well. Because although our protest was legitimate from our part, we still fight for our tribal rights. But the idea, that's why I'm saying it's a state, because perhaps that was a pretext for the Majoritarian community to target the Kuki. Because see, I'm not going to speak much about our brethren Naga, because Kukis mostly live together with the Majoritarian community, and our village and circuits like a target mark, where you have the center, the black, which is the Meitei land, and the outer circle is inhabited by the Kukis, and the third is by the Nagas. So I think the Meitei could not take forward as a tribal as a whole, because it would be detrimental to their movement, their idea. So I think the easier target was the Kukis. The reason being, even between the Kukis and Nagas, there was some misunderstanding before. So I think they took advantage of that, saying that Nagas would not be part of it. They should be kept aside. That's how it is. So I think it's a larger political game. So I cannot comment on what Biren and his echelons are thinking about, but that's how we see it. And I understand the people are saying, though it's a legit tribal movement, why the Kukis? I think perhaps there was a larger picture, maybe an understanding between the majority Meitei community and brethren Naga, but that's not for me to say. But for me to understand is why the center government is quiet for the past 19 months. That's my biggest query.
So one more very direct and hard question I would have, because that is the narrative which has been going on. So it is very important to ask that question. And we were also discussing, right, that not just Meiteis, like there is, even me as an outsider, what we hear is that from the Kuki side, not exactly the Kukis who are living here already, but the Kukis who are in Burma, right? There is a vested interest for them through China to create unrest. So in some way the war is being, perpetrated by the Burmese, and in fact through maybe China, where the money is coming from, and that is what a common consensus that we hear as outsiders is, that it is happening because of like this larger picture is that is why the Kuki and this war is happening. So what do you have to say about? And also I'll add to it, I'll add the same thing to the question as about the poppy cultivation and narco terrorism. So both the things maybe you can address together.
I can very well understand what the perceptions are there. One factor is that the media supposedly to be this fourth estate in our country. I think it's becoming very unfair. And normally the news that comes from the state is through the police department, the Manipur police department. And you know that things that comes from the state would not be on behalf of the Kukis. So we have been demonized, and I think I can take as a pinch of salt. And we are persisting, we are going ahead with that. And the sad part is we don't have anyone. Like brother, why I'm saying you have met the right person, and you are the right person to put this to the mainstream media, because we haven't had such people from mainstream media to come and speak with us directly. They always get the news from the state, which is going to be biased. So I don't blame the public perception. But let me clarify on those points. Number one, when you say that people from Myanmar, the illegal, what you call terrorists, I just want to make one point very clear. The border is manned by the Indian Army. When I say the Indian, I'm talking about the Assam Rifle They have been with the, in Northeast for the past more than 100 years. They are tasked to main the border. They are the expert, and they have the capacity to infiltrate. They are combat ready, and they know the ins and outs of the land. So when you say that foreigners have entered Manipur, so you're trying to say that your army is ineffective. That is one. And I understand that there might be, and there's also, I'm not denying that people from Myanmar have come here. But I'll tell you, people, those those Chin brethren who have come into India are not a terrorist. They are evading the military junta there. And you know that, you know what is going on in Burma. And there's a number, say 300, 400 have entered, let's say, India. And if those people can be accommodated in Mizoram as a refugee, what is happening? Those people who come to Manipur, why are they turned illegal? No, that is the basic fundamental misuse of terminology. People, I accept, yes, these people who have come from Burma are evading the military junta. And you know that our people in Chin, when I say I'm talking about
The features.
the features and the same stock of people are in China are called Chin people. They are fighting with the military, they are fighting against the military junta under the leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi. We are a democratic, people. We move forward with that. So the PDF is there, and we are supporting that. And for those people who have faced the military junta and to come to Manipur and to fight our cause, I think it's illogical. But you can say that they are illegal, maybe they are refugees in the Northeast. I accept that. But that doesn't mean that these people would be helping us, because their condition, the condition, look at them. Look at those women and children. Do you think they'll be part of the higher, terrorist group? So I think that is uncalled for. And sadly, even the state tries to bluff the nation, saying that there were 900 Kuki illegal that have entered the state of Manipur. I think you have come across that. And that became a joke in the center. So I think this narration should not be taken seriously. And as long as you have your army there, and I think it's made by the concerned Home Ministry there. And so when you say there's some leakage or whatever, that huge immigration, that means you're questioning your own department. I think the center needs to have a soul searching in their narrative. I think they should not buy the majority and Meitei community narrative. And the nation should not be fooled. The nation should not be fooled, because we don't need any assistance. We have never seek any assistance. The only assistance that we wish to have is a support from the center, a medical care, and all those essential items that needs to reach to our people. That is the only thing. We are not a secessionist. Imagine, why would I need my people, a foreign help, unless I want to be separated from India? What benefit would it be for them? Our demand is through a constitutional provision. Kukis are demanding our rights, constitutional provision. But have you heard about the Meiteis? They are saying that they're going to abrogate the merger agreement, which is between the king and the Dan government. They want to abrogate that. They want to reclaim in that Kanglei Park, that 700 square miles. So who's more secessionist? Is it the Kukis or the Meiteis? That the people should really understand. We are not secessionists. Our insurgent groups are under a suspension of operation agreement. And what about them? They're running amok in Imphal Valley. And brother, you have been to Imphal, you have seen all the curfew armies there. What is the need there? The Kukis are not there anymore in Imphal. You come to Kangpokpi, have you seen any chaos here? See, that is what the nation needs to know. I think this partisan news reportage is really exacerbating this conflict. It should have been stopped long time ago. So that's basically yeah, brother. And with regards to the poppy,
Yes.
see, I don't deny that Kukis have people resort to cultivating poppies. What about other communities? There are so many people. But I'm not justifying, but what I'm trying to say is why pinpoint or, cherry picking one community. I think the state government, in order to justify the Biren's government, in order to justify this causes of mass genocide, I think illegal immigration was one point, narco terrorists is one point. We are against drugs. Who wants drugs? But what I'm trying to say is those people who are involved in poppy cultivation, they are forced to do it. They don't have the resource. Maybe perhaps it was an easier way out. In order to blame them, the government needs to rectify that. Maybe a change of whatever, what you call, instead of on that line of poppy cultivation, the government should subsidize any other scheme so that they can live on that. So perhaps that is the reason. Fine, we are the poppy cultivators. I accept that. We cultivate. Some of my people cultivate. But what are the people kingpin who buys and who runs the mob, who runs the scheme? They are all the Meitei people, man. Why zeroing on those small fries? What happened to the higher echelons who has the political backing? You should ask Biren Singh. His wife is, say I'm sorry, but I'll be very blunt. You know, there was one police officer, a Meitei police officer, Brinda Taunazam. She was the one who was really fighting for that cause. But since she started zeroing on the chief minister's family, she was asked to resign. I think you cannot hide it. How long can you hide the burning charcoal? It's not going to do that. So I think on that front, poppy cultivation is part of the problem, I understand. But to zero it on the Kukis, that is wrong. There are other communities who does that, and it's onus on part of the civil organization such as mine to make my people understand that this is wrong, and we're working on that. And I don't know recently of all the issue why the parliament has taken that Kangpokpi, my district, has become #1 in. This has been going on, and brother, on the 3rd of May, why suddenly illegal immigration, poppy cultivation, whatever comes up on that 3rd of May? Why was it necessary? What happened to the 75 years of independence? If the government really wants to mend the border or rectify the border, what happened to the 75 years? This is not on the 3rd of May. It is a slow process. So I think for the Kukis to be a scapegoat, I think this is really bad.
I want to break this down further so that everybody understands the cause behind it, right? So, for example, for somebody as an outsider, it is very easy to understand the narrative that yes, this could be a problem, right? External infiltrators, poppy cultivation, right? This is a story which is easily acceptable. Also, like if I hear as a third party, I would understand, yes, this could be a problem, right? Because it is giving me a reason to believe it.
Right. That's what the center, Biren is banking on that, and he's succeeded so far.
Right. So what I'm trying to understand from you is what is the actual agenda that you think is from the Meitei side to do all this, because it is going on for 18, 19 months. And like you said, I have been there, right? They are also suffering. What I have seen, like I have seen, yeah, I have seen relief camps there. I have seen victim places there. I have seen memorials there, right? So they are also suffering. So what is the reason, the cause that you think that they are still going ahead with this?
Okay, I'll just be very blunt.
Yes.
It's about a resource.
Okay.
You know that the capital Imphal and all the major chunk of development for the past many decades has been really centered in Imphal Valley, and it's become saturated, and they want to take advantage of the hill areas, which under a constitutional provision cannot be used by the state at their will. So perhaps that was, this is one reason. Not perhaps, it is the reason why the majority Meitei community has sustained this war. They want to be included in the ST. It would give them an ample right to do that. But without that, they are using the state machineries in the pretext of forest environment. And they say that the 19%, I mean, in Kangpokpi is, well, look at this, do you see it's poppy? No, it is not. The reason why I'm putting up is just to demonize, or put other community in bad light over this particular issue and to take advantage of this conflict. I think this is wrong, and the nation must understand that Kukis, as much as anyone, don't believe in poppy cultivation, and we are working very hard with that, even including with the district administration. We are working on that. But in order to convince them, we need some other form of schemes so that we can douse. And the other part is with regards to the land, I think this issue will not subside until unless a change of guard happens in Imphal, and a change of heart, a change of political, will from the center government is required to douse this problem. So I think that's about it, because what more can we say? It's about the land resources. See, pristine, underdeveloped, untapped resources. So this is basically the reason.
Okay. Now let's talk about the violence that is happening on both the sides, right? There is news that we hear from both the sides of, like, from the Meitei side. I saw a video of the Kuki women that were paraded naked, and then from the the other side also we see news coming out of rapes and violence happening on Meitei women and stuff like that. So what is your take on that, and what is it that you have to say on that?
See, on the 3rd, now I forgot to mention, on the 3rd of May, when such incident happened, this Meitei people, some radical groups, upload a video which happened in Delhi, where a woman was tied in a plastic bag and kept there. So they said that this is a Meitei medical student, because there's a medical college in Chorochanpur, and even they name even the doctor. She was killed by the Kukis. So that became viral, and the people were, in Imphal, they were charged. So eventually that was debunked. That was in Delhi, and even the father of that girl, that doctor, who's a well-known doctor, came on, even on TV, says that such type of narration should be stopped. So basically that's how a false narrative was instigated. And with regards to a rape, see, Kukis, even during the conflict between the Nagas, we Kukis have never resorted this tactic. We never laid our hands on women, children, elderly, and the disabled person. This is the fact, and we have stood for that. Okay, we have stood for that, and that is the reason why our values are still intact. women can roam freely. That is the reason why we have the guts to say that we have never raped. Their rape, the video viral, that is only one. There's so many videos, but we don't resort it to that. And the video is uploaded not by us, it's by them. Where would we have time to do that? Because one of our values, because of our religion, we respect our women. Maybe they might have, but I'm not going to comment on that. But there are so many rape cases. I think I don't want to compare. I think the news or the truth should be a result of that. So I think there may be a versal, but I don't think we have raped anyone. I think that is wrong. And for them, I'll give you her video. It's very shameful, and I don't want to clarify on that. And we have never called them a rapist, even though they call us narco terrorists. We have never used the term, the derogatory term. We don't want to stoop like them. That is the reason why even the state, the centrally appointed DGP, when we released, because some youth have by mistake crossed into Kangpokpi, and we were the one to see that he should be released safe and sound from the volunteers. The reason why the volunteer took those 3 boys was because a month back, one of our military veterans who had gone to Sekma in the buffer zone, I mean, there's a green zone which is inhabited by the Nepalese. So he was captured and his neck was slit. So those people had that tension. So when they knew that some youths were there, they were caught. But we intervened and they were released. So the centrally appointed DGP even asked us what happened in Jeribam, where there was a news caption that Kukis have captured some 6 individuals. I mean, those are stage managed, and it really pains me to really counter that, because I know myself and I know my boys. I know our boys would never lay their hands on women, especially even children. The way how they are killed, it's all the same, the Meitei people. Either the eyes plucked out or they are chopped. That's how they do. We don't do that. Arey, murder come, you fight with guns. We fight with guns, we shoot them, that is done. But an individual without any arm, we don't do that. So that's how we still sustain a fight with the state government. We are not only fighting with the Meitei community, we're fighting with Biren's government. So I think it should be an example.
And there is also a narrative and things that I hear about like sophisticated weapons being used from the Kuki side, rocket launchers, drone bombs. In one village I even saw like a rocket bomb remain.
Yeah, that's made by them only. See,
So what about that?
Yeah, I'll give you a video clips which they have uploaded. But I'll just clarify on that. See, when you use a gun, do you expect me to use a catapult? No. But the sad part is they have raided the state armory 4 times. So they are well equipped. And for us, we have to resort to, because we are good at duplicating guns. That is the reason why if you had come at the proper time, maybe I'll show you. We call it pumpis. We have a locally developed indigenous gun which was used during the British era. We sustained that 3 consecutive years from 1917 to 1919 by using that pumpi. So what pumpi is about, it's more like a cannon. But that cannon, because during our forefathers, they used the sheep skin. They tied over the bamboo and they used the sheep skin and they put the powder, whatever is there. That's how they use it. But with the change, development, we started having the electric pole. And during our conflict, we used the, what you call, the pipes of a Proclaim excavator, which was laid vacant here. We used that and became handy. So that's how we use. It's not a rocket launcher. Even you can even ask the military personnel who were there. It's a locally made. And even the gunpowder, it's not from the market. It is indigenously, because everywhere it's a gunpowder if you know how to use it. The Chinese use it. Next, we know. Nobody knows. That is the reason why firecrackers come from China. It is not from the factory made or whatever chemicals you get. You have it with you. So that's how we developed, and we don't have the need to get the resource from outside the state. Otherwise, you would have known by now. A huge consignment of chemical was seized by the Kukis. Have you heard? No. But how did we sustain? Everywhere it's gunpowder, brother. So at least on a skilled, maybe perhaps that's how we got the respect. Perhaps that's how is it. But with regards to the sophisticated weapon, as per you say, I mean, as per the news in the mainstream media that Kukis have used drone bombs, I'll clarify. We have purchased a drone. I don't know what are the things. It's a small drone. We use that only to navigate our way, because our only lifeline between Churchandpur and Kangpokpi has to be through Imphal, which is this line. But since we cannot travel and they cannot travel, we have to find other resource which we have made on our own. So, and we knew that the Meitei insurgents are there, the secessionist groups are there. So we need to have that as a road opening. So we use that. But in the mainstream media, I have seen in CoTU incident, that I think that's the reason why you're talking about. CoTU incident news are there, I mean, was shown that Kukis have resorted to that high truck. See, brother, the drone which we use costs about some 40,000. Now, to have that such payload, you need to spend more than $1 lakh. As a Committee on Tribal Unity, our duty is to look after IDPs, those displaced persons. And like I told you earlier, the items that's given to the state of Manipur, I know it's a federal structure, so naturally it has to come from the state government to reach us. And you know, when the state is biased, what are the things that we get in the district? That's what I'm saying. I appreciate the district administration, because with that meager resource, I mean, supply that comes from Imphal, they're trying to help our IDPs. And it is a moral responsibility to look into those areas through crowdfunding. So which one is more important? To procure such a high-tech gadgetry, or to care for our people? I think my people should not suffer. I don't know about causing the death of other person. I don't see any reason. So I think for the Kukis to spend that huge amount on those high-tech weaponry, I think it is uncalled for, and I don't believe that. And many times I have put up in the news, and even the army chief have debunked that theory. And the drone which you have seen, the bomb shell which you have seen is used by them. They have the required capabilities, a machine gun, a state weaponry is there, for Pete's sake. And have you heard about that audio viral in which Biren and Amit Shahji spoke, which went viral in the news? Please check into that. So everything is there. It seems that in the news, Amit Shah cautioned Biren ji, saying that, hey Biren, did you use bomb? We heard that you have used bomb. Are Biren, tu bomb marta hai kya? That is it. So who is using who? I mean, bomb. And where do we get resources? In CoTU they said 5-10 rocket shells. Are yeah, Pumpi is only one-time use. Pumpi. I can say that, let's say that the shell is of Pumpi. But you need to have that 50 or 40 Pumpis, because Pumpi can be only used once and it's over. Because the pipe bursts or whatever, because it's not verified. No? So I think it's uncalled for. And if the media really wants to get the facts, I think like you, they should come to the ground, come to Kangpokpi or go to Churachandpur and get the real picture from the ground, not through the state-sponsored information, because it's going to be biased. Sure. So I think I completely deny that, and I find it very funny. In spite of 19 months, the government still, the center government still, I think the government knows we don't use that. The government knows. Okay. Yeah.
One more question, and this was something that, in fact, the Meiteis insisted that I ask if I go towards the Kuki side. Please, that there are highways that are being blocked from the Kuki side, and the lifeline and the supplies are being cut. What is the so what is the truth about that and your view on that?
You have come across this highway. They are talking about this highway. See, but I'll just give you a clear picture. The only highway from outside the state are this National Highway 2 and the other one in Jeribam, which is both occupied by the tribals. And the reason why twice, as a CoTU leader, we have imposed economic blockade. Okay? Our point is not to target the people in Imphal or to starve the people in Imphal. It's not that, because Kuki community knows that Imphal is inhabited not only by the Meiteis, there are other Nagas, the Malwaris are there, the Punjabis are there. I understand that. But the reason why we impose economic blockade is not to strangle them, but rather to seek the attention of the center government. Only during economic blockade. Okay. So, after an understanding with the center government, we lifted the economic blockade. You have seen huge consignment of trucks from Manipur on the road. So where's the point? I mean, where's the proof that we have stopped? In fact, please, after this interview, go meet the shopkeepers who are from Bihar. I mean, so who are Biharis, from UP and whatever. You ask them. They can't get supplies from Imphal, which is meant for Kangpokpi or Churachandpur. They're not given. They have to either go to Senapati or they have to lie that it is for other parts, maybe for Senapati. That's how it is. So I think they should get the facts right, because we have never hijacked any vehicle or give a hindrance to. When you go out, you'll see you have come on a bike. It's very good news, and you can debunk on your own. I mean, on their theory. I need not clarify on that. But the sad part is that we are not getting the reciprocity from Imphal. No supplies from Imphal. Those trucks that plies from Imphal are all empty. That I can assure you, it's all empty. It's all empty. So I think they should, before throwing stones at someone, they should check their house whether it's made of glass or not. And for me to really be at their level to respond to every accusation, I think I find it very low. That's why Committee on Tribal Unity have stopped debunking every of their narration, because we are tired, we are exasperated. We are just waiting for what the center is up to.
Okay, so we'll move away from the acquisitions now.
Okay.
I'll ask an on-ground question about like before 3rd of May, right? Kukis and Meiteis,
Yeah.
there was no problem.
No problem at all.
People were mingling. There have been friends. People have been
Arey,
studying together.
I was also the cooperator from Imphal municipality. I got elected by those people.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So my question now is that what is the situation now? Are you still in touch with any Meiteis? Do you still, your old friends, do you talk to them
No,
or
yeah.
that door is closed?
That door.
How's it now? On a personal level, what is the
See, I have so many good friends and who does not subscribe to Biren's theory. I understand that. I don't think, I think the majority of the Meitei community don't subscribe to Biren's ideology, but the state is radicalized through whatever Biren's analogy, and he's using his armed militia, the Arambai Tenggol. So those liberal voices are being shut down. I don't know whether you have heard Bablu Loitangbon has outspoken. He spoke about, so he's been kept quiet by force, and even Brinda was kept quiet through Arambai Tenggol. So I think even my close friend, although I want to be in touch with them, the radicalism, the hatred that is perpetrated by Biren and his HLN has gone so deep that maybe perhaps they would be ashamed to even speak with me. For me, I don't mind. I think they'll have hard time speaking with me. Mistrust is not between me and my friend, but the larger environment. So even if, supposing if I speak with them, maybe perhaps in a day or two, their house would be vandalized, saying they spoke with the Kuki fellow. So I think it'll take a decade for that to heal. I think the onus should be to Biren and the titular king, Sanazauba. I think that's their doing. That is the reason why they lost public mandate, yeah. They lost the 2 parliamentary seat. That's won by both the Congress. Imagine, that in itself speaks a lot. But I don't know why the center government is still held bent on giving him a leeway. I don't know.
Okay, to wrap up this discussion, not the way forward, yeah, kind of like I want to understand, yeah, like what do you see would be, what will it take for this to end,
Okay.
and how much time do you think it will take?
See, for any conflict resolution, it takes time. That I understand. But this conflict that is propagated by someone who is the government, I think I don't know, I can't foresee, because the reason why I'm saying is there was a conflict between the Kukis and the Nagas in the late 90s, but that was just between 2 communities, and that was, it took 5 years, fine, it got resolved. But this conflict is not only with the community, I mean Meitei versus Kuki, but it is a state sponsored. So that is the reason why there is no a right authority to douse the problem. Because in the 90s between the Kukis and Nagas, the state could speak and could meditate. The chief minister could meditate. But now the chief minister is part of the conflict, has become the problem. So I think for me to say that there's no solution, I'm going to be a bad person. I want that there should be a solution. But my take is that there can be, this can be resolved through dialogue. Dialogue means not between the Kuki and the Meitei, but through intervention of the state center government. And as of now, our people, on our behalf, we have 2 underground group that's in talk with the government of India. And the center must consider that, because that is the only platform through which a dialogue can be achieved. And once that is achieved, and once that is tabled, I think the Kukis and Meitei can come together as good neighbors. But for the center government to forcefully integrate the two communities is not going to work. And I don't think not even in 100 years. But as a good neighbors, after after the center expedite the SU agreement, I think peace can prevail. I mean, so we can become a good neighbors. Chalo, they can come to our land and we can go to a land, but as a neighbor, to respect each other. Because in this conflict, what I have witnessed is, forget about the hatred. It's about a civility. You need to respect someone. I think that is totally gone. So once there is no discipline in that, no respect, I don't think a society cannot mingle. That is the reason why I'm saying we can be a good neighbors, because their way of life and our way of life becomes very, very different. And it has shown in this conflict that who is whom and what are ways of life, what do we actually want. So it's become open. And the reason why I'm comparing with the Nagas is it took 5 years, fine. But now we can talk, we can speak. See, we can speak. But with the Meitei, it's going to take time. Because their way of life, I think, see brother, I'll upload you all the videos. I feel sad. We could have used all those videos to justify our cause, but we never did. In fact, our volunteers, when they are butchered or when they are raped and when they are decapitated, the mainstream media never never put up that in news. But whenever it happens to the Majoritarian community, it goes like the viral video. You know why? Because at that exact same time, even Kautruk and Jeribam, that's the time when the audio between, Biren Singh candid involvement in that audio tape becomes an issue. So he wants to pivot that. The first was when the audio became viral, he needs to divert the public attention. So Kautruk incident happened. And the second is when the Supreme Court took cognizance saying that the audio tape must be investigated. I think you know that. So at that exact moment, Jeribam, where one of women was gang raped, charged to that, and that's how he wants to divert. I think the center really needs to intervene.
Because of all this hatred and animosity on both the sides burning, and I even saw a banner there when I was entering, we have had enough of Meiteis, we have tried, there can't be any more solution. Yeah. So do you see from the public side that there eventually can be a time where there is peace? Because, and also extending to that, do you yourself see as Indians continuing like that? Because I heard about a religion aspect also, which I forgot to ask, that a separate Christian state kind of a thing or something like that. And so on that perspective, what do you see yourself?
See, those are the narrative. That's what Biren was trying to absolve himself from this mass. And this conflict, I'm not going to say this conflict is not about religion. I subscribe to that. It is not about religion, but it is about Christian persecution by Meitei community.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying is we have never touched any temples. We have never touched. So if we have done that, it could be about religion. But since it is not, I'm not going to say that, although it is about persecution of the Christian by the Meitei community. That is 100% right. And with regards to public, we can become a good neighbors. We love to become good neighbors. As much as we are good neighbors with the Nagas, we want to be good neighbors with the Meitei community. But we cannot be intermingled, I think.
But you see yourself as Indians?
I am an Indian. I subscribe to my, that's what I'm saying. We are not assassinists. Brother, you would have known by now. Our demand is through a constitutional provision. But their demand is secession from the union of government. Please go through that. They have the guts to burn the tricolor. They have the guts to put their salute the red flag at top of the the state government offices. I think a video viral is there. They took out the tricolor, they put their own flag. We don't do that. We don't do that. So to come up on your channel and to assert myself Indianness, I think I don't want to be a victim. Sure. I am not a victim. I am an Indian 100%. And we fought for this country. We fought for this country with the British, against the British. And after that, maximum of those INA, maximum of those Indian National Army were from my community. So I don't know what proof is there for me to assert my Indianness more. Does the Indian government needs extra blood for that? One more blood for that? Fine, we'll give it. But that does not tell me I'm less Indian. I think the government should stop playing with our life, playing with the tribals. Or maybe perhaps I need my forehead to be tattooed with Indian so that the nation would know that I'm Indian. I think the government really needs to intervene. I think they have to stop balkanize the state. I'm saying Talibanize the state. And I think it should not have the spillover effect because it's, northeastern state, we are totally different. We love to fight, but we fight for the right cause. And we are fighting for the right cause, which is the sovereignty of India, not against that. And please ask that to the Meitei people. Is abolition of pre-merger agreement being an Indian? Is about hating the Indian army? Is it Indian? Is it about desecration of our constitution being Indian? Because on the 24th of January this year, the elected representative of the Valley people, they took oath of allegiance to the Arambai Tengol, then in itself. So I think that should speak.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for clarifying, and a lot of direct and hard questions and tough questions I had to ask, because that is the questions that are there in everybody's heads. So that's why I wanted to ask you, and you were open enough to answer them. Thank you so much for that. And guys, as you saw, sir answered all the questions that I had and that are there in the media and in people's heads. There are, of course, in the previous podcast, you have seen the Meitei side of the version. This time I have taken the Kuki side of the story and brought it in front of you. The more you ask both sides, personally, me as third party, it gets more complicated for me to understand because I really don't know what to believe, what not to believe. But I have put both the fronts in front of you. So you see what you find more logical, and what I would wish any which way is that peace prevails. And as I say always, there is khushiyan always in the valley. And in the hills. And people can live together.
As a proof, I'll upload all those videos.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much. Khushiyan always.